up, YouTube? Topaz Yates back for another review, and this one's to that 2 Chainz Rap or Go to the League, and I'm gonna give it the yellow light, man, because it's a decent project. But as I look at 2 Chainz and his whole career and such, I'm coming to realize that this may be close to the end of the road for him in the mainstream, you feel me? Because, I mean, he's been doing it for a while. You cannot deny that he first came into the game, reinvented himself, became a staple in the game. See, 2 Chainz have reached that level in the music industry of being the OG, where, you know, he really ain't popping like that musically, you did, but yet people respect him. People still want to put him on tracks. He can still prolong his career. And this is where it's important for individuals to start finding creative new talent and putting them on with your name, because that's what pretty much takes your career and expands it even further. Like, look at individuals like Lil Wayne. When it started to seem like this for Wayne, he was able to find Nicki Minaj and Drake, and when they hit the top of the charts, therefore they prolonged Lil Wayne to where he's at now, where he's still rather notable in the game. 2 Chainz needs that, as he did try it with his True University or True Religion or whatever his label used to be, and he had some talented individuals in there, but yet it just fell through and it was just bad. It didn't really work out for him. But you know, individuals like Nas, that happened for him as well, where Nas is just rebranding and putting out artists and stuff again on Mass Appeal, and he's doing a much better job on Mass Appeal. So 2 Chainz definitely needs to take another crack at that or go more into the business. But looking at this album, man, it's alright. Like, what he tried to do is take the commonly used saying of either you going to trap, rap, or go to the league or whatever in order to come up out of the struggle. And of course he shortened that for everything, man. And the way he did it was pretty decent on how he tried to keep somewhat of a consistent theme of talking about basketball, because he used to play basketball, and talking about the coaches and stuff that taught him the game, but yet he was using this as excuses to not go to jail for extended amount of time, because he was telling judges he could go ahead and get a scholarship and be a basketball player and all that, but it was all excuses so he can go out there and deal drugs some more. But as you continue to listen to the project, you realize he's using a whole bunch of sports metaphors, whether it's randomly or whether the song is directly associated to his upbringing, as he did play basketball and all that stuff. Like how he's saying, life is crazy, I'm not. How he's saying, you know, that's besides the point, like the shooting guard. Well, that was a slick little punchline right there, you did. But he does that somewhat consistently to make it seem like there's a solid concept here. But it's not really a deep and flushed out concept. It's just something that he just had on his mind while he was doing all of these individual songs. Now, my problem with this project, man, is the same problem that I had about the Meek Mill project, where the best songs that I actually enjoyed happen to be variations of far superior songs before in the past. Like, take the song I Said Me, which is just a variation of Jay-Z's Dead Presidents, where this had no chance of ever being as good as Dead Presidents, but yet he tried to make his own variation of it, and it wasn't even all that good. That wasn't even one of my favorite songs, but there's a lot of that throughout this project. Even songs that, you know, seem to be completely original, when you start to break them down, you see, okay, he's taking from other songs here as well. Like the song Forgiven, where yes, this was a completely original song here until you hear the scratching going on in the background, where it's pretty much taking Jay-Z's Lucifer and using that somewhat as the background vocals for the hook and all of that, man. And I'm not even a fan of Jay-Z's Lucifer, you feel me? So I do like this one more than that. As on this song, he more delves into the quote-unquote concept of the project, where he's talking about how he used to play basketball and all that stuff, man. And then he decides to try to throw in some wordplay and some punchlines, like how he's saying that his life was on a bumpy road like an ATV. Not the most amazing of punchlines, but it was okay. The thing that kills me is when he goes about trying to do wordplay, but he just doesn't completely grasp the whole idea. Like how he's saying, as a parent, it's apparent that there are no parents. Like, he's trying to use parents multiple times, and each time it means something different. That's true wordplay, but yet he says, as a parent, as in, I have kids, there are no parents, as in, there's nobody out here protecting the kids. That is the same exact usage, even though I did like how he twisted it saying it's our parent, as that's a completely different word. That was cool, but yet he didn't quite grasp the wordplay the way it needed to be. But when we start looking at my favorite songs, that's where you really see these are just songs that have been recreated, like The Rule the World. That's nothing but the A. Marie, Why Do We Fall in Love song with, that song is classic. Now, 2 Chainz does pretty decent remaking it into a rap song, but would I say that it could be on par with the original A. Marie song? No, as it's nothing more than a pathetic attempt of him trying to make a female-driven, female-friendly song, trying to just take a song that all females like from before in the day and throw in his own cheesy one-liner punchlines, like how he's saying, I just like to fold her up like some lawn chairs. Or the meal that I prepare, I share with her. Meal as in food and then meal as in millions. Like, that was decent at best. But I definitely do enjoy the vibe of the song, mainly because I just like the original and it's nothing but a play off of the original. But my absolute favorite song would be Sam. Well, this is sampling one of my favorite songs of all time in UGK's High Life, but yet the direction that he went with it was pretty slick. Where he's pretty much talking about Uncle Sam as in the manifestation of America and taxes. And he's pretty much talking about how taxes are illegal, 1. 2, he's talking about how these taxes that we pay end up going to pay for police to murder us as black people and to go ahead and lock us up as black people. Like, why are we paying taxes when they're doing nothing but using them against us? And then he's making wordplay about it as well, like looking at Uncle Sam, the depiction of America, like he's a crooked uncle that's thieving off of his nephews. Definitely a dope song, but can you literally say that this even compares to High Life from UGK? Like, if you don't want it to compare, you shouldn't use the sample. But those are really the only 2 songs that I like off this project. But let's touch on a few others, like The Threat to Society, which it was kind of cool as it's produced by Ninth Wonder, as I like some of the sample production that Ninth Wonder does. But yet, in cases like this where it doesn't feel all the way on point with the production, with the drum patterns and all of that stuff, man, it just doesn't feel right to me. And I know the quote-unquote real hip-hop fans, they swear by it because they go into, okay, they're just changing the 4/4 timing into a different timing, and you're just not thinking about it like that. Timings when they try to do 3/4 timings or 5/4 timings, or how all these other producers do things, that's just not pleasing to the ears. I understand the statement that as a producer, this is what you try to do, but ultimately, it has to be pleasing to the ears to begin with. As this song is pretty much 2 Chainz talking about how he feels that he's underappreciated, giving his life story. As he throws in some little punchlines in there that was kind of cool too. Like how he's saying, I was playing dodgeball with the fad time, where in dodgeball, you have to avoid getting hit by the ball. He's trying to avoid the fad time at all times, man. Like, that was a good little one-liner. And since we're talking about one-liners and all that, man, we got to talk about this $2 bill that got Lil Wayne on it, because that's where this whole one-liner style came from. Where Lil Wayne would just do random one-liner punchlines where it mainly focuses around sex, but yet he would do it in a comical manner, and that's where it all pretty much continued to move forward, and now 2 Chainz continues on with that whole legacy. But this $2 bill with E40 and Lil Wayne, the basic concept is talk about how unique and different and rare they are in comparison to everybody else. But when you break down the lyrics, they're not saying anything unique. The only person that actually holds a candle to that would be E40, because nobody has ever rapped like E40. Nobody ever will rap like E40. Overall, man, this project was decent at best. Like, honestly, I feel as though this is one of the key signs that it's time for 2 Chainz to begin to move on, move into the business side of things. begin to start putting other people on to prolong his career instead of continuously dropping projects like this. There's 4 awards out there, so I'll give it a 4 out of 10. One you should go ahead, peep out, break down for like 1 or 2 listens. As you know, he's so simplistic with his bars, you can catch them all the first or second time around, you dig? And that's where I would leave this project. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can follow me at Twitter up there, and you can go to downloadpads.com, that's down there, to read today's article.